as a nurse to another African American patient is important to have. Just how it feel like you said, Eric, when they come to you, to have somebody that look like them and tend to get that trust, like, okay, because people think back in the day where people were doing experiments on African Americans, they doing it now with the coronavirus. They like, oh, they experiment on us again. They experiment on us because they do not have the trust, right? And they look for us to have some reputation, like, okay, I know they're gonna speak for me. I know they're going to be my voice. When I came, my family's not there. Or, you know what I'm saying? I know they're going to take care of me. I've had patients who are like, I'm so happy to see a black nurse. I'm so happy to see somebody look like me that understands me, that can relate to me. Right. And we have a great rapport. So, with that being said, Erica, now that you in management with the insurance side, how is it working with, because essentially that's like leadership too. So how is it working with just being a minority in a leadership position like that, in an office and everything like that? How is that?
It's been, the insurance side has been one of my best experiences. But, throughout my years of just nursing, I can't really speak about the insurance side, but I can definitely go back to, prior situations. I mean, it just, to me, I feel like it gives that patient, more like a comfortability level to say, like, okay, this person understands my struggles. Like, I can be more open to tell her maybe some things that I'm not comfortable to tell other people, what I'm saying, about my diagnosis, or, and just dialoguing with the patient as well to tell them, you need to take this medication and this is the reason why,
what's going on
with you. So I believe that it does, help the patient, the quality of care for them, and to have them more comfortable, have them to open up to us, and hopefully develop some type of trust and rapport with the patient so they can get the resources and get the help that they need, so they can continually, feel comfortable coming back. If I had, for example, let's say sickle cell, I would not know, if I was a nurse, like, I know how it would feel to be African American if we both had sickle cell, to care for each other, like to care for that patient. I specifically remember when I used to work on Mom and Baby, I had a patient that was of Muslim descent. And because I love learning about culture and diversity in different cultures, I would not have known, if I did not know about diversity and culture, that most of the time with people of Muslim descent, patients, that they don't like, if they're female, that they don't want males in their room. It has to be a female nurse or a female doctor. So it's important. Or, like a lot of Hispanics, when they have babies, they like to bundle their kids up and keep them warm. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't, study about someone's culture and learn about it, or ask, or have had that experience over there. So it's important. I think it's important for us as nurses to not only just know our nursing, like, the nursing, like our studies,
and all that,
but we should also learn about diversity, because we are in a place now where it's not just black and white anymore. We're seeing all different type of populations of people, and it's okay to ask, what I'm saying? So maybe my counterparts that don't look like me, ask. Maybe we can kind of bounce ideas off each other to get the best possible care for this patient. So,
and I feel like with that, them not asking, so when you was charged to abuse, some lead charge nurses, they'll assign patients, not to say they may not do it on purpose, but you have those challenging patients that's African American sometimes, and they assign it to you because it's oh yeah, instead of you just assuming that I can take care of them, or just like pushing them off me. How about you learn? How about you ask questions? How about
you learning moment?
Like how can I help? Like take care of that patient. You're African American. How do I approach them? And so that's what it's just you have to learn how. You have to learn to want to approach and learn other cultures. Just don't push them off on other people, even though we do take care of them good, because they, but don't be a primary reason why you gave me that patient.
And I feel like we kind of delve into it because we care and because we know that they need the treatment and they need to get what we have to give, that we kind of like take it upon ourselves to be like, okay, now come on, Mrs. Smith.
Right,
now,
right.
You know,
Yeah.
you making it hard for me to take care of you. And we have to like switch it on. They don't, and it's almost like I had one tell me, well, you have a switch. You know, you can go in and you can do your thing, and you know, you just relate to them. And I said, well, how about you ask them what they need?
Right.
Have open dialogue, and then they can tell you.
Yes.
Because all they want to know is that somebody's listening, that they care. It has nothing to do with what I look like.
Right.
It's what I give them when I take care of them.
Right.
And that's the whole, so culture diversity, and definitely working in an urban setting. We have a lot of people coming from rural areas who have never
Experience
with these kind of patients,
Yes.
you know, these kind of patients, minority, African American, whatever, never even lived in the same community.
Right.
So urban is very different than rural. You know, St. Louis City is very different than Chesterfield or O'Fallon. So, you know, you kind of have to just take it upon yourself to educate yourself sometimes on how to take care of these patients, or to just kind of, you know, see what they need. Ask.
That's all people like, ask.
Just ask.
All right, so Erica, tell us about, I know that you were involved with policy making at your hospital. Tell us about that experience.
So I did write the policies within a particular department that I worked in, but I specifically remember after all the policies were written, they were actually given to another director and rewritten as if I didn't really do anything.
Wow.
So that was kind of hurtful because it's like no one ever really followed up with me to say, you know, like, okay, this needs to be changed or that needs to be changed, or even that the manager was gonna, or director was even gonna rewrite the policy. So it was kind of like wasted time, wasted energy. So, you know, as far as with leadership, that was a very difficult thing. Even just being in a leadership role as an African American, like I said, I have always been in situations where I have been the only one. So it's just been so difficult. I feel like I have to go above and beyond my, you know, everything, do everything. Sometimes I'm not even told, you know, we may have a meeting the next day, or, you know, I feel like I'm constantly watched, or constantly having more one-on-ones than anybody else. And I was even actually I remember one of my directors had told me one time I was writing follow-up letters for patient relations that basically like, you know, I couldn't really write, basically, you know, that I wasn't a good writer. So, you know, that was hurtful, you know, not having any formal training on, you know, what type of writing that I needed to do for this particular role. I felt like it was just like they threw me in there, you know, to fail, basically.
And that's what I feel like some people do. It's like they put you in situations expecting you to fail. Like, you don't give me the information that I need.
The tools.
You don't give me the tools that I need. You don't give me the support that I need. So you put me in a situation to fail so you can say, I knew it. I knew it. Like, she, you know, she ain't about none, or she ain't as smart as I am. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And even to where, like, I had experience where, like, I will, like, with me, Tiffany, we taught clinicals together. You know, and it's like they be surprised when we have our students and we know stuff.
Right.
I'm like, oh, you're super smart. So I'm like, oh, thanks. But then you think back like,
aren't our brains kind of wired the same?
Right. I'm like, are you saying this because you truly think that I'm like super smart? Or are you saying this like I'm shocked, surprised
that you know so much,
that you know this? It's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And I get the same thing even now today. In my recently passed leadership role, the manager didn't know about all the certifications and the education that I had. And so people that knew me in the department was like, hey, aren't you a BLS instructor? Don't you do this? And didn't you teach it? You know, and so the staff would always come to me for the clinical portion of what was going on with the job, because I was in it and I taught clinicals, and they knew a lot of my history. I knew that I had a public health side, a home health side. And so she's literally, I think she may have had 6 months on the floor and then into, you know, case management side or whatever it was. And it was just interesting that how the attitude shifted because they would come to me so much, but I would be out there asking questions, what do you need? And I was visible. I was visible to them. And I love to learn. So whatever it is that I wanna do, I go get the information.
It's the truth.
If I don't know anything about case management, I study case management. I didn't know anything about cardiothoracic surgery. I taught myself. I went and I looked for it. Same thing with neurosurgery. What is this? What is this back surgery? What does this do? I get the knowledge so that I can better serve my patients and so I can be efficient in the role.
Right.
Because I feel like sometimes we are set up to fail, or they just put you in and see, let me see what she's going to do.
Yeah.
And then when you excel, it blows her mind. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
Or I didn't think she was that smart. I didn't think that she would overcome this. They
Right.
throw obstacles at you just to kind of see how you're going to handle it or see if you'll persevere through it.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's really good. That's why one of my goals when I became a nurse, I always said in nursing school I was going to try to touch every area in nursing.
Yeah.
Learn it.
And I'm
learn
always,
it.
I'm
know
always
it.
moving around, you know, in nursing because I want to
They
be
thought
able
that was
to
a
be
problem.
like,
Yes.
you know, I want to be able to have a very vast,
Yes.
you know, broad, like, you know,
Knowledge.
understand knowledge base of nursing. I think that's a key for nursing students.
It
Right.
really
You know,
is. That's a
definitely move
plug.
around,
Yeah.
move around.
And there was an issue with that. I had an applicant who had kind of moved around, and I know that some managers look at that, but I asked them, so what were you doing when you left here? What was this? What was the purpose? Because as a new nurse, I moved around. I may have stayed somewhere a year, 2 years,
That's the truth.
and then I moved on to something else because I did home health, and then I did surgery, and then I did this because I wanted to feel and touch everything, like you said, to
Yes.
see where I wanted to end up and where I was comfortable and where
Absolutely.
I felt I would gain the most growth and advancement for my nursing career and for my knowledge. And so that I don't look down on those people. I ask them questions.
Absolutely.
Right.
Have
Because
to
there's
ask.
always a reason.
It is.
And I don't ever want nursing students to feel like you're stuck. Because if you don't like something or something doesn't fit well with you, you're not gonna embrace it and be yourself in it. You're
Yes,
not
and
gonna
be the
grow
best
in
at
it.
it,
You're
right.
not gonna be the
Yes,
best at it.
that's
And
true.
it's
That's some
a
good stuff.
setup for failure.
It is.
And a lot of our young nurses are set up for failure
Yes.
because they get these jobs and they take them just to get their foot in the door, and then they get trapped or they're treated poorly and then they leave.
Right.
And or in some cases leave nursing completely because of a dissatisfaction in
That's the
a
truth.
first, position.
So many areas, so many
Yes.
areas that you can fit in
Oh
nursing.
yeah,
So.
oh yeah, and
Exactly.
I've known this. I worked with this young lady, and she was a nursing student, and she was of my same kind. She was African American, and she would always like vent her frustration. She's like, I'm in nursing school. I'm working part time. And I'm telling them, hey, I've got class on this day, so I've got a class on Monday. They got me working Sunday night. I got a test on Tuesday. They got me working Monday night.
Yes.
And they like, okay. I thought we were supposed to like have leniency. I'm finna possibly
with
be
these
working for
students.
you.
Yeah.
You're possibly recruiting me, and you're making it hard for me to
Right.
pass my
Yes.
test.
Right.
But yet there's this white student nurse, that's getting her days off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
days
it's-
off to take her board.
Right, getting her days off, take her boards, getting her
Study
days off to
for 'em.
study them. And it's like, we didn't get it.
Right.
And when she went to management like, oh, well, no, you get your days off and you get to study. No, because I told you specifically, I've got a test on Monday.
Right.
Right.
I cannot work Sunday night.
Yeah.
I've only worked 2 days a week.
Right.
So what? I don't understand what's so hard about finding me something where else to go. Finding me somewhere other slot to fill.
Right.
I'm a nursing student. You can possibly gain me as employment here. So you see the differences with just that. And then to speak on like when you're working on the floors and you feel like that you are alone amongst a sea of people. Because you've got your white nurses, they huddle together. They click together. You know what I'm saying? And they don't come all way. They may ask you, oh, you need something, because that's what they're supposed to do. But are you genuinely like asking me, do I need something?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or are you including me in whatever going on?
Right.
To find the inclusion as a staff. So you see people migrating, or, that you constantly get the question like, how long you been here? You asking me that why?
Right.
Because you want to know, like, my experience, or you want to know, like, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right, and you don't feel like you have that support. And then the nurses, your white nurses, they don't make it feel like you're in the know of stuff. So you constantly have to feel like you got to be 10 times better than them.
Yeah.
You got to be 10 times aware of stuff.
So
You know, and it shouldn't be there. You know, it shouldn't feel like that. And it does, you know. So that's why when I see young African American nurse, you know, I make it a point. I literally make it a point to be like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Do you need any help? Like,
Right.
do you need anything to explain to you?
Yeah.
Did they tell you about this? Did they tell you where the med room is? Simple
Right.
stuff.
Simple stuff, and I always check on them.
Me too.
Because I
Yes.
feel like we just let them go. And I do it not only with them, but with the white nurses as well. And it's just like, it's crazy because although I'm not in a leadership role, I'm in a leadership role.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and they all come to me still. And I still take on that role because I was a nurse who they eat their young and
Yes.
they still do it.
Yes.
Yeah, they
All these years later, they still do that and they still look down on you. So I will take, hey, you good. I see you moving around a lot.
That's the truth.
What do you need?
Yes.
You know, and sometimes they're like, I'm fine. No, what
I
do you
offer.
need?
Let me go pass this med out
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
When you
And-
ask me or not, I can go do that for you. You go just go do whatever you
Right.
do.
You go do that, I'll do this. And they're
Yes.
like, really? Yes.
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 Mhm.
And speaking to what you said when they asked you how long you been nurse, how long you been here, I had an experience. Our units joined for the COVID thing. We were working with a sister unit, and I literally ran around from the time I clocked in with those difficult patients. I had probably 2 total patients, and then a patient that was just up doing whatever, walking the halls, leaving the room, bed alarm, everything. I ran back and forth till probably 3:00. No bathroom break, no breakfast, lunch, nothing. And then when I stood in the middle nursing station and told them how disgusted I was and how unsupported I felt, what do you need? Well, nothing now. Now all I need to do is chart. But it's 3 p.m. and you all have sat here, ate lunch, had snacked, went for numerous amount of smoke breaks, and not asked one time what I needed.
I just think that that's very disrespectful, and just for any person to do that, to not even work on the floor with someone and see them running around and not even offer help.
Right.
I
And
mean,
I was
like
the only one
the
that
common
looked like me that day.
decency. I think that needs to be a common decency of a human
it
being.
does.
But some people don't have that, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is true.
And I think
Yeah.
as experienced nurses now, we kind of just look for that.
Right.
And if you're somewhere and you constantly see somebody move, that catches my attention.
Yes.
Like, I would be like, okay,
Right.
Monica ain't sat
Yes.
down. I know she here today. I ain't
Right.
seen her. Where is
Yeah.
she?
And you know what? It's just in me. It's something. It's like a internal clock for me to just always
Yeah.
ask. Are you good? You need
Yeah.
anything? You know, just on a normal
sure?
basis.
Like,
Right.
well, I,
You all right?
I don't care. You want me to go take somebody
You
to the pot?
good?
Right.
I'm type of,
Yeah.
you want me to change that? Man, I can't change. No, I can change it. You go do that. I don't mind doing stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Or I
Honestly,
noticed that
you
you
know.
haven't took a break today. Give me your phone. Let's go. Well,
Right.
I got it. Bye.
Right. It's
Right.
the truth. It's
Exactly.
the truth. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, ladies, I just want to end with this last experience. So, with me working in the ICU, so those nurses, the patients are critically sick. There's one unit that is not represented at all, like at all, with a black nurse. So when I go to work at that unit, I feel like an outcast, and to know that in a critical setting like that you don't have support, or it's like you don't feel like that you're worthy, and as an African American, I feel like why am I feeling like this? I know this stuff. I know cardiac. I know I know this stuff. But yet in the back of my mind, sometimes that creeps through. Like, am I smart enough for this ICU?
Yeah.
And you've got younger nurses that's 1 year. You've got 15, 16, 17, 20 years. And yet you still have that in the back of your mind. That speaks to it. So, guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in or just watching us. Thank you for the support. We just want to open up the discussion. We just want to have the conversation. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and I have not heard anyone speaking this. It is an unspoken exclusion, and I just want to get the conversation started. I just want people to know that, hey, ask, black nurses matter too,
Right.
So I
Yes,
just
we
want
do.
y'all all to know
Yes,
that,
we do.
all to know that.
We're needed.
Yes,
and,
we are
and we
needed.
matter.
Yes.
And we matter.
Yes.
And necessary.
And
necessary. Yeah.
And we're smart.
Yes.
Yes,
we
we
are
are.
smart.
Yes,
And we rock.
are.
And
Yes.
we rock.
Yes,
Black
we
nurses rock.
Yes.
And we
And we rock.
unstoppable.
Yes, we are unstoppable.
You know.
And we're growing.
And we
Yes.
can speak
And we,
English.
yes.
And we're
Yes.
educated.
We're not
We know
all
a
from
little bit.
foreign language. You're like, where are you from? I'm from where you from?
Exactly.
America.
As a matter of fact, I'm your neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. I live next door to you.
Right.
I ain't been nowhere to Africa. But so on that, I want to thank you guys for just listening.
Thank
I
y'all.
want to thank my friends, Erica, Tiffany, for supporting me on this project. I really do appreciate that,
Anytime.
guys. I
Yeah.
really do appreciate that.
Awesome.
So we're gonna end this. I want to thank everyone. I want everybody to be healthy, be blessed,
Yes, stay safe.
stay
Yeah.
safe out there, family, friends, stay safe so we can keep y'all safe in the hospital.
Yes.
Sisterhood is more powerful than we can even comprehend. It's a community of women embracing each other. It's deeper than being friends. It's an I want to see you win and I want to see you flourish.